and the rest of the concert hall was empty. At the end of the show, everybody's going crazy.
John Simmons, born Chaim Witz on August the 25th, 1949, in Haifa, Israel, grew up amid the echoes of his parents' painful pasts. His mother, Flora Kleene, had survived the horrors of the Nazi concentration camps, while his father, Yohiel Witz, had also escaped Hungary before marrying Flora in 1946. Life was far from easy for young Chaim. By the time he was 6, his parents' marriage had ended, and his mother worked tirelessly in factories to provide even the simplest meals. Poverty meant that Chaim often went to bed hungry, learning early what struggle meant. Despite these challenges, he tried to help, picking wild fruit to sell by the roadside and fashioning his first winter coat from an army blanket. Finding solace in stories, at school Chaim faced bullying for being different, a reminder of the lingering prejudices his mother had survived. Yet he found escape in comic books. Spider-Man, Superman, and other American heroes captivated him, even before he fully understood English. By age 7, he was already fluent in Hebrew, Hungarian, and Turkish, and secretly began learning English as well. These stories offered him hope and a sense of resilience in a world that often felt cold and unforgiving. Immigration to America. In 1957, Flora made the life-changing decision to leave Israel with her son. They arrived in Queens, New York, with no money, no English, and no family waiting. Chaim's father remained in Israel, and he never saw him again. Adjusting to life in America was difficult. Flora worked long hours in factories, while Chaim, now Eugene Kleene, learned to navigate a strange new world largely on his own. He attended Jewish schools briefly before switching to public school, where his accent initially made him feel like an outsider. Yet he persisted, selling cactuses door to door, picking fruit, and immersing himself in pop culture, which sparked a lifelong fascination with music and entertainment. Becoming Gene Simmons. By 1959, at just 9 years old, Eugene legally changed his name to Jean Kleene, inspired by cowboy actors like Gene Autry. Television became a major influence, and his love for the Beatles' appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964 ignited his dreams of performing. Adolescence brought typical challenges: awkwardness, self-doubt, and the desire to belong. But Gene's charm and determination began to shine through. He worked odd jobs, learned guitar, and practiced endlessly, building skills that would define his future. Early career and music aspirations. Gene attended Sullivan County Community College in 1968, earning an associate degree in education and even teaching 6th grade in Spanish Harlem for a brief time. Yet his heart belonged to music. By 1970, he joined Paul Stanley to form a band called Rainbow, which soon became Wicked Lester. The band played nightclubs while Gene worked day jobs, including translation gigs using the languages he had learned as a child. Despite setbacks, including a rejected album from Epic Records, the experience laid the groundwork for something bigger. The birth of Kiss. In 1973, Gene Simmons, alongside Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, formed Kiss. The band's theatrical performances, featuring makeup, fire, and fantasy elements, were unlike anything audiences had seen. Gene's demon persona, inspired by horror films and comic books, captivated fans. Kiss's first performances drew small crowds, yet their energy and spectacle spread through word of mouth. In 1974, they signed with Casablanca Records, and though initial album sales were modest, Their relentless touring and unique shows began building a devoted following. Rise to Fame Kiss's live album, Alive, released in 1975, captured the raw energy of their performances and propelled the band to superstardom. Gene's showmanship, breathing fire and spitting blood, became iconic. With hits like Detroit Rock City and God of Thunder, Kiss transformed from a local sensation into a global phenomenon. Gene's entrepreneurial instincts also flourished. He understood that the band's image, merchandise, and live shows were just as important as the music itself. By the late 1970s, Kiss had become a cultural force, selling millions of albums and licensing hundreds of products. Challenges and changes. Success came with personal and professional challenges. Band members faced pressures of fame, lifestyle conflicts, and evolving musical tastes. Lineup changes, including the departure of Peter Criss and the death of Eric Carr, marked difficult transitions. Gene also faced the complexities of balancing his larger-than-life persona with family life and personal interests. His relentless drive to innovate kept the band relevant, even as they experimented with different musical styles, such as the disco-influenced Dynasty. Life beyond music. By the 1980s, Gene ventured into acting, appearing in films such as Runaway. He continued to expand the Kiss brand, exploring merchandising, restaurants, and other business ventures. In the 1990s, the original band members reunited with their iconic makeup, leading to sold-out tours and renewed attention. Despite success, June remained focused on maintaining the band's integrity and legacy, balancing creative ambitions with the practicalities of business. Family and personal life. Gene's personal life was shaped by his relationship with Shannon Tweed, whom he met in 1983 at the Playboy Mansion. They built a life together, raising 2 children, Nick and Sophie. Their relationship, documented in the reality show Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, revealed the joys and challenges of balancing family, fame, and personal growth. The show also captured moments of conflict, reconciliation, and mutual support, portraying a man who had transformed from a boy facing hardship into a father, husband, and public figure. Later ventures and legacy. Gene's entrepreneurial spirit extended well beyond music. He launched the Rock and Brews restaurant chain, invested in cannabis ventures, and developed The Vault, a collection of rare recordings. Even as he pursued solo projects and tours, his focus on innovation remained central. While controversies occasionally emerged, June's transparency and willingness to engage with his audience helped maintain his connection with fans. He became an example of resilience, creativity, and reinvention, demonstrating how adversity can fuel ambition. Reflections on life and influence. The story of Gene Simmons is one of survival, creativity, and transformation. From a childhood marked by scarcity and displacement, he cultivated talent, ambition, and a love of performance that ultimately defined a generation of rock music. His life reflects the interplay of hardship and opportunity, personal struggles and public triumphs. Through music, business ventures, and family life, June built a legacy that transcends the stage, leaving an indelible mark on culture and inspiring countless fans around the world. Conclusion. Gene Simmons' journey from Chaim Witz in post-war Haifa to global rock icon illustrates the power of perseverance and reinvention. His story is not just about fame, music, or business. It is about a person who turned adversity into opportunity, creating a life rich with creativity, resilience, and her influence. The legacy of Kiss, combined with his personal evolution, continues to inspire, reminding us that identity is not fixed, and greatness often emerges from the most unexpected beginnings.